No problem.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Hope everyone is having a great day and had a great week. My name is OJ of the Buy Box, TBB. Also with me, we have the man of the hour here. That's Jerin. He is going to be our first member spotlight of the year. I know we skipped January. It was kind of a little busy and of course it was Returnuary, so we had to make sure we had that under control. So I had to be kind of understanding and of people's time. So really thankful to have Jerin aboard today. When we started TBB way back in, wow, 6 years ago now, it just seems like time is flying by. Our number one goal was to help people. It wasn't to ride around in McLaren and Lamborghinis as staff or owners. We just really wanted to, facilitate growth, ownership, and that kind of iron sharpening iron atmosphere, which I think we've done over the past 6 years. And I think, folks like Jerin are examples of that. So just wanted to welcome him aboard. And Jerin, do you mind kind of telling the folks a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my name's Jerin. I'm 36. I live right in the middle of the map, Wichita, Kansas. First and foremost, I'm a husband and a father. Been married about 10 years, come up, no, over 10 years. I got a 4-year-old son. So that's my main focus in life, and that's what I do everything for. Um, I started reselling about a year and a half ago this month. First year or so was all OA. Joined the buy box in September. So since then, I mean, within a couple weeks, I really took the plunge, and I'm pretty much all A2A at the moment, and A2A adjacent, if you want to call that OA.
Yeah.
But 99% A2A at this point. Uh, just everybody involved seemed real genuine, and I
No,
trusted the
that's great.
process, even though it was scary at first,
Yeah.
not getting anything checked in yet, but I dove head first, and here we are.
So no, that's awesome. So I know that you joined the buy box 4 or 5 months ago now. What kind of drew you into the group that said, hey, this is maybe somewhere I'd like to kind of be a part of?
To be honest, Saul, I mean,
Okay.
I saw Saul on the Clear the Shelf podcast with Chris Rasick and Chris Grant. I'd seen him on there before quite a while back, but around that time frame that I joined, he had another A2A podcast on Clear the Shelf. And it just seemed like a real genuine guy. A lot of our values, or a lot of my values, aligned with a lot of values he was speaking on. Um, the sourcing method spoke to me because like you said, I have very little time at my computer. So, to be honest with you, I was surviving, but I wasn't thriving doing OA. I outsourced a lot of the money making method, which is sourcing, which was what I need to be doing. I had a sourcing VA doing that for me while I was, you know, prepping and shipping and doing the low skill labor stuff. So, I mean, I was making profit, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. So I needed to do something different.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, Saul, it's funny. I think maybe 80 to 90% of our members come from just kind of hearing about Saul through whether it be different platforms, social media, and I think his reach, he's just a genuine fellow, and I know he wears a lot of hats. But he's a real down to earth guy, and I know we're happy to have him. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Before Amazon, what were you into before you kind of started selling? What's your primary job?
Well, my primary job for the last 10 years, I've been in the aerospace industry. So I started off as an aircraft mechanic. So I'm building airplanes or sections of airplanes at least. From there, I went into being a trainer and instructor, teaching all the new hires in the onboarding process. I was sheet metal mechanic, so I was teaching them anything from sheet metal to aircraft sealing to reading blueprints, um, electrical bonds, all that good stuff. And then from there, what I'm currently doing, I'm a production manager, so I have team of 50 employees that I just got to make sure they understand what they're doing, they know their assignments, and get these airplanes pumped out.
So we've got a father, we've got a husband, we've got a guy in charge of managing a team of 50 folks. How in the world do you make time to sell online?
Oh, that was the big draw
Mm,
to Flip Alert, to be honest with you. And then it's really a no brainer throwing an extra $50 on there for the buy box community. But Flip Alert allows me to do that proactive work. Um, the more time you spend in there, the more you're adding and refining your task and throwing stuff you like into ASIN Tracker. I source probably 95% of the time. I'm sourcing from my phone on the go, whether it's with I'm wrestling with my son and my Apple Watch buzzes. I got to check, see what's going on, or I'm at work. Um, I do have, a lot of responsibility, but I do have a lot of freedom to roam. I got a large area to cover, a lot of people. I'm on the go. So, Flip Alert, not to be dramatic here, but it definitely saved my business.
yeah, no, that's
So,
awesome.
being able to, I don't know who can. I'm sure there is people out there, but I'm not going to be doing OA on my phone.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I remember the kind of the moment for me was back in 2020 when I was in physician staffing and I was a manager there. And of course, that was kind of when, the pandemic kicked off. And I don't know where I came across it, but I ended up selling Ryobi like foggers
Yeah.
while I was at work. And I had a buddy of mine who had some free time at that point. He essentially we would just sell 10, 15, 20 a day and do 3, 4, 5,000 a day. And I said, hey man, let's ride up and down the coast of
Yeah.
Florida and buy as many of these as we can. And I think we were doing 10 to 15K days just off of that. And so that was kind of like my aha moment. I don't know if I set up my Amazon account properly. I didn't understand the tax ramifications. I just
Send
knew
it.
that there was opportunity. I wanted to seize it. What was kind of your, aha moment when it came to, okay, maybe this could be something as far as another source of income that I could add?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been interested in for a long time since probably 2019, 2020.
Okay.
I've always wanted to, and knew, and I would tell everybody that would listen that I'm going to be selling online. I didn't end up starting until 2024, but I was, in deep into YouTube University back then. There wasn't a whole lot of content. I was ordering books. I knew that's what I wanted to do, but at that time, I just wasn't in a place with capital, and
Mhm.
I sent my wife back through college. So I was working two jobs at that time while she was getting her 2 year degree. She's in the medical field as well,
Okay.
in nuclear medicine. So I knew I wanted to, and I knew I was going to. Um, just when that time came, I had some capital and a little more steady. My schedule's still crazy, but it
Yeah.
was real crazy. I was working third shift and then going straight to a first shift construction job and just trying to pay the bills. So I didn't really have a lot of time to focus on anything but that. But when I did start, it was July 2024. Like you said, I just dove in. I got the pro seller account. I started as a sole prop. I wanted to get in there as quick as possible. Like
Yeah.
let's go, let's get it going, get verified, all that good stuff. Um, so yeah, I learned. I started myself. No mentorship at first. I ended up finding, luckily, some really quick moving products. These Mary Ruth products. I ended up ungating non profitable, like break even product just to get ungated. But I also had, 4 or 5 different products. I was just booming FBM. Like I think the lowest one was 500 sales a month, and I listed them. I went to bed. I woke up. I was like 700 in sales, which is nothing. But to then, I was like, oh my gosh,
Right.
this is real. Like this can work. So it's making 7, $8 a pop, just throwing them in poly mailers and getting the UPS.
Boom. Yeah. No, that's those $7 to $8. You're making one trip. Those add up, and they add
Oh
up
yeah.
quick for sure. With that being said, what is kind of your mix today? I know that you mentioned you've got a VA who does some tasks for you, or maybe you do or you don't at this point. Do you still kind of prep on your own? Do you have a prep center? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So I mean, that's being able to source on the phone. I said Flip Alert saved my business,
Mhm.
and listening to the right people. Um, I consume any type of content Saul will put out. Chris and Chris,
Mhm.
super smart guys. I'm in their community as well. Just listening to more experienced sellers, getting my AOV up, um, allowed me. So I don't have a VA anymore. So like I
Okay.
said, I was relying on this sourcing VA that he's a great guy. I mean, but he don't care about my business like I do.
Mhm.
He's gonna get his check, and I'm not saying he was bad or anything, but I have maybe an hour, hour and a half at my computer a day, so it takes me a while to review his leads. Hopefully, there's something in there so I can
Mhm.
buy something, and then I got to turn around and pack 10 boxes of optimized, of course, pack it correctly, then go to make the shipment and got to open the box up again,
Yeah.
pack groups, all this stuff. And it just wasn't efficient for me. Um, so Flip Alert, for one,
Mhm.
allows me to source from my phone. That's the moneymaker. That's what I need to be doing. It also allows me, I tripled my AOV.
Yeah.
Um, and it allows me to do that. So I was able to rehome my VA because, like I said, he is a good guy. He is a good person. I also didn't have a lot of time to manage him on top of all that.
Right.
So I rehomed him and used that money to get a prep center out of Delaware. Shout out to Joel and Zero Tax Prep Center, Joel and Laura. Um, more couldn't be more happy with that. I don't touch anything anymore unless it's FBM, and I try not to do that either.
Yeah, no, that's great, and that's typically the evolution and the next step, especially for full timers. I'm in a similar position as you. My volume has tapered off a bit just because I'm kind of locked in and focused a little more on the career. But yeah, that's kind of been my notion and experience as well. I know you mentioned Flip Alert a couple of times. What other tools or tool, maybe one tool that you can't live without aside from Flip Alert?
The obvious answer is going to be Keepa. I
Mhm.
mean, that's the most essential tool.
Yeah.
Um, Keepa and Flip Alert, I wouldn't be able to work without. I mean, I could probably replace any other tool. I don't have a whole big stack up. I keep my overhead pretty low.
Okay.
I mean, I have Seller Board, and I have Storefront Stalker Pro, which is included in my
Mhm.
membership, so that doesn't cost me anything at the moment unless you want to upgrade.
Mhm.
But Keepa, I mean, that's the heart and soul of any Amazon business.
Yeah, for sure. And to that end, we actually had a question in the chat. How do you source from your phone? I know you can kind of add Flip Alert. You can go ahead and set up the kind of the your own private Discord so that way those leads come through. What else do you do?
I mean, that's it. It's not. I mean, I just get in there. So I have my own Discord server that's
Mhm.
connected to my Flip Alert. You create your profitable flips tasks. Um, there's no cap on tasks. There's no cap on ASIN tracker that I'm aware of. So it's not a magic wand. Like you're still gonna have to spend time in there. But the more time you spend in there, it just compounds just like everything else. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm proactive sourcing to throw ASINs into the tracker. I'm throwing things I buy from my profitable flips, which I'm checking all day long through Discord. I'm basically sourcing through my Discord app. So it feeds to different channels. I have different tasks that filter to different channels. I got, the tracker goes to a couple different channels depending on the brand, snap buys, stuff I've already vetted.
Mhm.
Always staying on top of profitable flips, um, reactive sourcing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of, for me, like, you got to be a little bit obsessed,
Mhm.
to be honest with you. Like, you're going to get out what you put in. So if you're in there, like for me, I have an hour a day. So I'm pouring in an hour a day PC wise, but I'm on I'm sourcing all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean if you got more time, it'll just compound faster, but
Right. No,
it
for
just
sure.
eliminates a lot of the tedious time consuming tasks of OA, like verifying is this the right product, the right size, the right ounces. Um I know it's unless I'm debundling something, I know it's the right thing,
Yeah.
right product because I'm buying it and I'm flipping it back on that same listing.
Yeah. Now,
So
I know you started, Amazon and selling online a couple years back. Is there anything you kind of realize now that maybe caught you by surprise? I know for me, it was kind of the return rate and the difference between certain items. Like, selling food, obviously you'll get minimal returns, if any, due to kind of what's around that. Whereas selling clothing and footwear, I'd get the switcheroos pulled on me. And
yeah,
that was kind of the biggest thing I learned. What was yours?
just I'm still learning every
Mhm.
day. Like got a little imposter syndrome even being on here with you guys because I'm a small fish in this wonderful community like that. But that's where you want to be. You don't want to be the smartest guy in the room, then you're in the wrong room. So I'm just absorbing everything from bigger sellers, trying to help where I can with anybody. But yeah, clothing and shoes. I do have a task for that, but it's stupid high ROI
Hmm.
margin type stuff. I dabble in it, but I try to stay away from that. I don't do a whole lot of food or ingestibles, supplements.
Okay.
Nothing specific. Just data is data. I don't care what it is.
Okay. No, that's cool. So we did have a couple more questions here from the community there. So what do you determine, or how do you determine if you're eligible to sell when you're sourcing on your phone?
I mean, I use Seller Amp. So I mean, it'll tell me if I'm approved or not, and if it's showing no, then I can always throw that ASIN into, if it's 10 units, I'm pretty confident I can throw that into my catalog and get it added that way.
Mhm.
If it's any more than that, I just keep it moving.
Okay.
So it's going
Perfect.
to tell me my eligibility is connected to my seller account, be able to see that way.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. And as far as obviously you're doing a lot of Flip Alert and A2A, without kind of identifying the product, what has been your most profitable or successful flip? Maybe something that you replan or something that was kind of maybe seasonal that really just kind of uh, took off for you.
Oh, that's a good question. Jellycat, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, Jellycat's really good A2A.
Mhm.
Kind of holding off at the moment, unfortunately, on these testing documents. But once that clears up, we're going full. What's up, Luke? We're going full, full back into Jellycat. I find personally more replenishable items through A2A because I mean it's not always the case, but most of the time, if it's dropping, it's gonna drop again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm
Jellycat.
enjoying that. That's why I track my buys,
Yeah.
and then I know I bought it. I've already test bought it, and I'm gonna buy it again.
Yeah, there's a lot
Maybe.
of profitable items across that Jellycat brand for sure. I mean,
Oh,
they were popping up all across Q4, with definitely money to be made with that brand, certainly.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So what's kind of a win? So obviously you've had success with your numbers and such. What's kind of a win that maybe numbers won't capture, that you only maybe you can realize?
Sitting here with you today, I'm grateful for the community. Um, Grateful. I'm a resilient guy, and I don't quit easily. But Amazon reselling in general tests you,
Yeah.
whether it's regating IPs, account health violation, testing documents out of the blue, transparency codes. So I'm just proud. Um, I'm nowhere where I want to end up or be, but I'm proud that I'm still around, and I plan on being around for quite some time in some type of facet.
Yeah.
Um, Amazon, I recently threw in eBay into the mix, Amazon to eBay. So I'm excited to get another channel and then, grow to a point where I'm comfortable, start diversifying into other stuff in life as well. I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket, as you can
Awesome.
see.
Awesome. Love to hear that. We got one more question here from the crowd. Are you using an Amazon business account on mobile?
I'm ashamed to tell you,
Uh-oh.
I haven't.
I
I'm
might stop
using
the recording.
stop the recording. Honestly, I only have a personal non-prime, just out of pure laziness, and it'd probably take me 5 minutes to set up a business.
Mhm.
But I'm using personal right now. I need to get the business set up, but yeah, you could.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, I know we're down to kind of the bottom half of the hour. If you can kind of go back to day one, just a few years ago, is there anything that you would maybe do differently, adjust, or completely disregard altogether?
Oh yeah, sure. There's a lot of different information out there. Um, Serves different purposes, I suppose. I don't know if I had to start over again, and if any new seller were to ask, it's just outsourcing, the priority of what you outsource.
Mhm.
So, like I said, I was knee deep, and I know a lot of other people I've talked to. You start pumping OA, whatever it is. If you're prepping at home, and especially out of your house, and you're doing volume, you're doing more and more rev, and you're growing, you just end up backing yourself into a job essentially. So
Mhm.
I would recommend to anyone just outsourcing prep, the low skill labor. So I would be outsourcing prep. I would be outsourcing admin. Um, Sourcing is the moneymaker. So I mean that would be the last thing I outsource, and that would only be when I'm at the point where I have more money than I can spend. So, and
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
yeah. For
I,
me,
I I run out of money.
yeah, no, I hear you. For me, I would probably say mine was kind of getting the buy-in from my wife. Like you said, once you kind of get
Yeah.
all those packages showing up, and I think we
Yeah.
at that time, the heaters, which of course are massive, pools, and it would just be taking up our whole porch, and the neighbors would be looking at us, and kind of getting the buy-in from my wife initially. I wish I would have done that. But then, during the holidays, my kids would help prep, and kind of seeing the joy on their faces, and maybe I'll reward them with a squishmallow or something like that for helping.
Yeah.
But that was kind of what I wish I would have gotten done in the beginning. I didn't know it would kind of turn into a business as it did. I thought it was kind of just be a hobby or something like that. But getting a buy-in definitely helps as well.
Yeah. My wife's been super supportive since day
Awesome.
one. Yeah, and I think it's useful to start that way. Do everything yourself, so I wouldn't go prep center day one unless
Mhm.
you just can, I guess. I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible idea, but I mean, I think learning everything yourself, being able to do it yourself before you outsource it. I mean, prep's different. I mean, you don't really need to know how to do prep to outsource it to somebody who does. But if you're going to get a VA for any reason, you're going to be the one coaching them and
Yep.
teaching them. So you better know what you're doing before you expect somebody from the Philippines or another country to care enough to learn themselves, which is not common.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And I know, drafting your SOPs and making sure you have things documented so that that way it'll make it easier for you to coach when that time comes. I think is key too. So that's a great point. So, Jerin, to kind of wrap up, any words of wisdom or in closing that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, if you're obviously it's not to you, but anybody listening, I mean, you're obviously already in the buy box or potentially going to be in the buy box. I couldn't recommend it enough. Includes Flip Alert. It includes Storefront Stalker Pro. You got Jeff and Jeff, seven figure seller corner. You got Joey teaching Walmart. You got Dre throwing down wholesale calls. You got Brick Dynasty, Lego. You got the GOAT himself taking an hour out of his day every Saturday to ask me anything.
Mm.
Um, just my suggestion and what I've found, believe it or not, I mean, I feel like I'm a little introverted, maybe less than others, but
Mhm.
put your picture on your profile, put your real name on your profile, reach out to people. Don't be scared to get into the Discord and get in the mix. Start asking questions, start helping where you can. Be active, DM people. Um, I don't know any other business that you have a community and resources like you do with Amazon.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I dove right in. So like shout out to the cook group. So I took the A2A challenge.
Mhm.
I watched every sourcing video that Jamie had on YouTube
Yeah.
for A2A. I'm booking my calls with my main man Chad. You have all these resources, so don't let them go to waste. Put your face out there, put your name out there. Don't be shy. I haven't ran into anyone that has not been willing to help. Like I said, I started pretty immediately. Just dove into A2A. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't. I had way too much confidence, and then I first month I'm 13 grand in, and I'm like, whoa, oh. And I had a call booked, a coaching call booked, but it was like the next week. So I hopped in the Flip Alert Discord, and I was like, "Hey, is anybody available to hop on a call?" It wasn't even a coach;
Mhm.
it was just another community member.
Yeah.
I hopped on a call. Hey, can we look over this? Look over these buys I have. Please tell me I'm doing it right. Stuff
Mhm.
like that. So it's just like that's huge. I'm trying to be on X.
Mhm.
Ah, it's a different place, but I spend most of my time in Discord. It's nothing but wonderful, helpful people.
Yeah.
Um, people who's been selling a decade. Just more than happy to answer my questions when they do not have to.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome. I mean, I for one appreciate what you're stating for the community that we kind of put together. I know Chad, Dre, and team appreciate your thoughts as well. So, Jerin, thank you for being the first one kind of stepping up. I know it's just like you said, sometimes we could be a little more introverted and it's kind of a lonely business at times. So you coming in, talking to the community really means a lot. We look forward to speaking with more folks in the community as well. So
Do
we
it.
thank you for your time and hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Yep. I just want to thank Saul, Chad, Jamie, you, Dre, all the coaches, Eric, Christian, all the admin, um, and the most Jack and the development team.
Yeah.
On Flip Alert.
Shout out Jack for sure.
Shout out Jack.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it, Jerin. Y'all have a good one.
All right, thanks.